Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of The Source, coming to you off of a pretty decent weekend. I mean, not great. On Friday, we went plus 0.42 units. Saturday was break even. Sunday was plus 0.52 units. So combined, we just under plus 1 unit. Obviously, that's not amazing, but hey, there was no losing days. 3 days in a row, none of them were losing. I will take that. We started off last week hot. Let's get this week started hot. 6 games tonight. Let's go.
Welcome to The Source. The Source. Hey, get the Source.
First up, the suddenly hot Chicago Bulls on the road in Philly to play the Sixers. 7 p.m. start time. Total opens up 224. Line opens up Philly minus 6.5. This line has been on the move. We are now up to Sixers minus 8.5. And as expected, public is all over Philly in this one. Let's take a quick look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Philly minus 11.31. So even after the line movement, we're still looking at a 3-point lead on the Sixers. First of all, Alex Caruso and PJ Tucker both listed as questionable for tonight. So both teams possibly missing a defensive start. As far as the Bulls go, nobody's talking about it, but this team is on fire right now. They played their way back into the play-in tournament. They're back in the 10 seed, and look at their last 5 games. They beat Miami comfortably. They beat the T-Wolves. I went to double overtime, but they beat them. They went into Houston and beat a Rockets team that's playing pretty well. They went into Denver and beat the shit out of the Nuggets. Their only loss in their last 5 games was on a 30-foot buzzer beater by De'Aaron Fox, and that's the Kings. That might be the hottest team in the NBA right now. Look at the efficiency numbers over the last 3 weeks from these two teams. They are closer than you would think. Philly is first in offensive efficiency. This has been the best offense in basketball over the last 3 weeks. But look at the Bulls. Chicago is right there at 5th in offensive efficiency. On the defensive side, Philly is 19th. Chicago is 20th. So in the last 3 weeks, speaking solely about efficiency numbers here, these two teams are actually similar. As far as shot distribution, we know the Bulls shoot a ton of mid-range shots. They're 5th in shot frequency from mid-range over the last 3 weeks. DeRozan, Levine, Vucevic, they all love the mid-range shot. So why don't we take a look at Philly's defensive numbers by shot zone, see if we can find a mismatch here. Sixers defending the rim, 8th in the last 3 weeks. 16th against the three-point shot. Against the mid-range shot, 21st. So that might be a nice little mismatch in favor of Chicago. If you've been betting the Sixers, though, you're almost not worried about the defense. I know that sounds crazy, but that offense has been so good that your angle is usually they can't stop Philly's offense. That's usually the angle you go with when you bet Philly. But here's the thing. We know the Sixers are red hot. Against who, though? Hear me out. Remember they went into Milwaukee and beat the Bucks. They beat them by 3. It was it was on a Saturday. I was at my brother's house, I remember. That was 16 days ago. Yeah, they've won 7 in a row since then, but look at who they've played. Pacers twice, Hornets, the Cavs without Jarrett Allen, T-Wolves, Blazers, Wizards. The only playoff team that Philadelphia has played in their last 7 games was Cleveland, and they played them without their best defender, Jarrett Allen. I like this matchup for Chicago. I was proven wrong. I was not a believer in the Bulls. They have looked great recently, and I'm going to take the points here. So let's head over to OddsJam, see if we can steal some value on this one. Looks like we can get Bulls plus 8.5 on several different books, but our best bet is going to be Chicago plus 8.5 at minus 107 on Barstool. Next game, Indiana Pacers on the road in Charlotte to play the Hornets. This is a 7 p.m. start. Total opens up 232, and this line opens up Charlotte plus 2.5. Line actually drops a point. We're now looking at Charlotte plus 1.5. Got a little bit of a pros versus public look here. Public definitely leaning towards the Pacers. Sharp money definitely on the Hornets so far. So let's take a quick look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Charlotte minus 2.59. So a significant lean on the Hornets, like a 4-point lean on the Hornets. You already know that I'm most likely fading the Pacers if Halliburton's out. I've said that a number of times. Halliburton out tonight. So before I even start the handicap, I'm already strongly leaning towards Charlotte. Here's where it gets a little tougher. Mark Williams is out for the Hornets. Now, he's not as important to Charlotte as Halliburton is to Indiana, but on the defensive side of the ball, he is a nice piece for them. But I truly think there's value on the Hornets side here. Yeah, they've lost 4 in a row, but look at who they lost to. They lost to the Sixers. They lost to Cleveland twice, and they lost to Utah. And so they're 0-4 in the last 4, but they almost won 2 of those games. They lost by like 5 and 6 in 2 of them. We're getting points at home against the Pacers without Halliburton. I would take that with anyone in the NBA. I take that with the Spurs. I take that with the Pistons. I would take that with anybody. Hornets without Mark Williams and LaMelo Ball is tough. But I'm doing it. Give me Charlotte plus 1.5. Let's go. So let's head over to OddsJam, try to snag some value and check it out. We're getting a full point over the consensus line. Thank you, OddsJam. So give me Charlotte plus 2.5 at minus 115 on BetMGM. Minnesota is on the road in New York City in the Mecca to play the Knicks. 7:30 p.m. start. Total opens up 224. Line opens up Knicks -8. This line actually drops to 7.5 last night for a little bit. Then it comes back up to 8. Now we're actually looking at Knicks -8.5. Public is pretty split even. Sharp money definitely leaning New York Knicks. Let's take a quick look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be New York -9.3. So pretty much right where the books have it, maybe a slight lean on the Knicks. I'm going to skip this one for now. Anthony Edwards, Naz Reid, Rudy Gobert, all questionable for Minnesota. Too many question marks. I will say, if 2 of those 3 guys play, I probably will take the points with Minnesota. I like betting the Knicks a lot more on the road than at home. They're the best road team in the NBA. They've struggled at times in Madison Square Garden, and we're laying a big number like 8.5. So I'm going to skip it for now. I might end up betting Minnesota. I'll let you know on Twitter later. If you are trying to bet this game right now, check this out. I saw this on OddsJam. You can get Minnesota +9 at -114 on Barstool right now. So if you do like the T-Wolves and you want to bet it right now, I would hit up Barstool. Next game. Dallas on the road to Memphis to play the Grizzlies. This is an 8 p.m. start. Total opens up at 222, and this line opens up Memphis -1.5. This line has been on the move. It moves from 1.5 up to 2.5. Now it's at Memphis -3, and everyone's all over the Grizzlies. Memphis is the most public play on the board so far today. So let's take a look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Memphis -6.12. So we're looking at a 3-point lean on the Grizzlies here. Another game where I'm going to have to skip for now. Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Jaren Jackson Jr. all questionable. That's the 3 best basketball players on these 2 teams. So yeah, I can't bet this one right now. I might tweet it out or put it on my Instagram story later, so we'll wait and see.
Okay, update. Luka Doncic ruled out, so we have some of the information we need. Kyrie Irving still questionable, Jaren Jackson Jr. still questionable, and now I'm seeing Tim Hardaway Jr. is questionable for Dallas as well, so still too many question marks. I don't have a bet yet. I might tweet it out later.
Next up, Golden State on the road in Houston. This is an 8 p.m. start. This total opens up all the way up at 238. Line opens up Houston +10. As expected at this line, the public is all over Houston, and the line moves the other way. Goes from 10. We're now looking at Houston +11. Books are daring us to take the Rockets here. Let's take a quick look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Houston -4.61. My model loves the Rockets, best rebounding team in the NBA. Rockets are just 3-8 against the spread on 0 days rest this season. So not only are they playing a Golden State team that's in desperation mode, this Warriors team needs a win, but also the Rockets have been terrible in this spot this season. That being said, this line, man, in the last 10 games, Houston is 5-5 straight up, 7-3 against the spread. In Golden State, in the last 10 games, 4-6 straight up, 4-6 against the spread. You can make an argument that the Houston Rockets are playing better basketball right now than the Golden State Warriors straight up. I wouldn't say that personally, but the point is you can make that argument right now. To make this line 10.5 with Golden State on the road, the Warriors haven't won a road game since January 30th. That's almost 2 months ago. 11 straight losses on the road. Add on the fact that Kevon Looney is questionable for Golden State. He's their best rim protector, and they've been struggling in that area. The Warriors are just 23rd in defensive efficiency at the rim over the last 3 weeks. Houston, as we all know, is first in shot frequency at the rim. Nobody attacks the basket as frequently as the Rockets do. Another thing Golden State struggled with recently, keeping opponents off the offensive glass. You want to know who's first in the NBA in offensive rebounding rate over the last 3 weeks? The Houston Rockets. I hate this. I hate when it feels like your decision's already made for you. Like, obviously, I have to bet the Rockets at this line. 10.5 with a team that hasn't won a road game in 2 months? No way. I mean, I don't love it because I feel like I'm walking into a trap, but I'm on the Rockets here. So let's head over to OddsJam, try to steal some value. Looks like we can get Houston +11 at -110 on several different books, and that's going to be our best option. So give me Houston +11 at -110 next game.
Update, Sengun is now questionable for the Rockets. Obviously, that would be a huge loss. He's their starting center. I'm not going to say I like it because obviously the Rockets need him out there, but at least the line makes more sense to me now. Doesn't change the bet. It'll still be Rockets plus the points for a light bet.
Sacramento Kings are on the road in Utah to play the Jazz. I believe this is a 9 p.m. start. Totals all the way up at 239, and this line opens up Utah +5.5. Line gets as high as Utah +6 late last night, but actually stacked back down to Utah +5. Public has no lean on this one. Pretty split even here. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Utah -0.01, so basically a pick 'em, which means we're looking at a 5-point lean on the Jazz. Clash of the betting titans here. These are 2 of the hottest teams to bet on in the NBA over the last 2 weeks. Utah's 5-0 against the spread in their last 5. Sacramento 7-1 against the spread in their last 8. Obviously, right off the bat, I want to bet Sacramento, right? Because it's the Kings on the road. We know how good this Kings team is on the road. They're 23-12 against the spread on the road this season. That's second best in the NBA. They've also covered 7 in a row. 7-0 against the spread in their last 7 road games. Few injury concerns in this game, mostly on the Utah Jazz side. Jordan Clarkson is out. He's now missed over 2 weeks. That's concerning. But now you add Lauri Markkanen to the injury report. He's listed as questionable. Markkanen is by far the best scorer on this Jazz team. You want to know who the second best scorer is? Jordan Clarkson. So there's a chance the Jazz could be without their 2 leading scorers tonight. But we got a question mark on the Kings side as well. Kevin Huerter's listed as questionable. He missed last game. He might have missed 2 games now. I'm not sure. It might have been just 1. I'm not sure on that. But that'd be a huge offensive loss. He's the best outside shooter on the team. In fact, he's one of the best outside shooters in the whole league. Matchup-wise, I found a good one here, and it's when the Kings have the ball, 3-point shooting. You want to know where the Utah Jazz ranked defensively against the 3-ball over the last 3 weeks? 30th. Dead last. Kings 3-point frequency, 7th. Nice mismatch for the Kings. So I'm most likely on the Kings here tonight. I'll say I'm definitely on the Kings. It's just the amount of the bet is what's up in the air. If Markkanen plays and Kevin Huerter sits, it'll probably just be a half unit. If Huerter plays and Markkanen sits, I'll lay a full unit on this. I like it a lot. So let's head over to OddsJam, see where our best Kings bet is going to be. Looks like we can get Sacramento -4.5 at -115 on BetMGM. So OddsJam hooks us up with another hook. I like it. Let's lock it in. Kings -4.5, -115. Let's go. If anything changes with any of these bets, I will let you know on Twitter, so give me a follow there if you're interested. Also, if you want the final ticket I put out, which is exactly a list of what I'm betting and how much on each thing, my top bets, parlay of the day, which has been hot recently, hit again last night. So if you're interested in that, head over to KyleKirms.com. NBA Monday, we've had 3 great weeks in a row. Let's start off this one hot again. Remember to bet responsibly, and I will talk to you on Twitter.